was called Decentralizing AI.
That sounds cool already.
Yeah.
Welcome to Entertain Me, hosted by Roberto Capodieci, as we bridge the worlds of new and old technologies, meet incredible individuals, and delve into past visions of the future, between technology and life, with Roberto Capodieci on Entertain Me. You're now listening to Decentralizing AI.
All right, so today we're diving into something pretty cool. A brand new platform.
Okay.
It's launching in January 2025.
Right.
Called Interchain.me.
Okay.
And this is going to be a really interesting look, I think, into the future of tech and how it's going to impact our lives.
Well, I think what's really interesting about this platform is that the person behind it, Roberto Capodieci,
Okay.
he is a veteran
Yeah.
in the blockchain space.
Wow.
We're talking senior blockchain architect,
Okay.
chief blockchain officer at Jada AI, CTO at Simply.
So this isn't someone who's just kind of jumping in on the latest trend.
No.
This is someone who's been doing this for a while.
Exactly.
Knows what's up.
Been working with these systems since 2010.
Wow.
So he really knows
Yeah.
his stuff.
So that depth of experience must really shine through in this new project.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell just in the vision for the platform, he's not just interested in the tech itself, you know? He's really interested in how that tech intersects with our lives.
Fascinating.
Our work, our relationships, even the future of humanity.
Yeah, that's what makes this so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just for like techie people.
Right.
It's for all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's for everyone who wants to kind of keep their finger on the pulse of what's happening.
So what can you tell me about Interchain.me? What kind of content are we going to see on there?
One of the flagship series
Okay.
that I saw was called Decentralizing AI.
That sounds cool already.
Yeah.
I like that.
And it's a deep dive into a really important question.
Okay.
Which is, as artificial intelligence becomes more powerful, how do we ensure that it benefits everyone,
Right.
not just a select few?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us feel like it's being controlled by a very select few.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see AI everywhere these days, but
Yeah.
it's those big corporations who are really at the helm.
Yeah. What's Roberto's take on that?
Well, he's a big believer in decentralization.
Okay.
He wants to see a future where AI is more transparent, more accessible,
Right.
and ultimately more equitable.
I like that.
And that's really what he's going to be exploring in this series.
Okay.
How can we democratize intelligence and put control back into the hands of the users?
So that's the big picture goal, but how does he actually tackle that in the series?
Well, he's taking a multifaceted approach.
Okay.
He'll be sharing insights from his own projects and experiences,
Okay.
but he's also bringing in a diverse range of voices
Oh, cool.
from the field.
Okay.
Researchers,
Yeah.
developers, ethicists.
So it's going to be a conversation with lots of different viewpoints.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Not just Roberto preaching from the mountaintop.
That's great.
It's going to be a real back and forth
Yeah.
with people who are approaching this from all different angles.
So they're going to be looking at
Yeah.
philosophical implications.
Exactly.
The technical challenges.
Yeah. And the practical applications.
Yeah.
That sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
Before we get too far into decentralizing AI,
Right.
you mentioned that's just one series.
Right.
So
Yes, it is.
what other kind of series can we expect to see on Interchain.me?
Well, there's going to be a real diversity of content
Okay.
appealing to a lot of different interests.
Okay.
So, for example, there's Deep Dive, which uses AI-generated analysis to break down really complex topics.
Okay.
And then there's something called Rob's Memory Lane.
Ooh, I like that title.
Yeah.
Rob's Memory Lane. Where he gets personal and shares stories from his own life and career.
So we get a little glimpse behind the curtain
Yeah.
of the mind of Roberto
Exactly.
and all the things that led him to where he is today.
Exactly.
I'm picturing like dusty old computers and vintage gaming consoles.
You're not far off.
Awesome.
He really has a passion for that vintage tech.
Oh, that's great.
And he sees it as a way to really understand how far we've come.
Yeah.
Like how those early innovations paved the way for what we have today.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So we've got these deep dives into AI, personal anecdotes,
Right.
a little tech nostalgia.
Yeah.
What else is in store for us?
Well, if you're a gadget enthusiast,
Yes.
there's New Tech,
Okay.
where he reviews all the latest and greatest devices.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for gadgets.
And then if
Yeah.
you're looking for some more practical advice,
Right.
there's a series called Life Tips, where he shares everyday wisdom
That's cool.
gleaned from his own experiences.
So it really does feel like there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting and diverse
It is.
set of content.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I haven't even mentioned the Cool Smart People series yet.
Ooh, tell me more about that one.
That's where Roberto interviews thought leaders
Okay.
and innovators that he admires
from
a lot of different fields. Not just technology, but people who are really pushing boundaries,
Awesome.
shaping the future.
All right, so Cool Smart People is going on my list. The things I want to check out.
Definitely.
Now, is it all going to be long-form discussions?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's experimenting with a lot of different formats to keep things interesting.
Right.
So there will be solo episodes,
Right.
there will be episodes with guests,
Right.
there will be short, kind of punchy pills of information,
Yeah.
and then those longer deep dive discussions as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
Exactly.
It sounds like there's so much thought going into making this both really informative but also engaging.
Yeah.
I'm curious, with all these series, is there like a unifying thread that ties it all together? Like, what's the mission?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What's the message behind this?
I think at the core of all of it is Roberto's deep-seated belief
Okay.
in the power of technology
Right.
to really transform our lives
Yeah.
for the better.
So it's not just the technology itself.
Yeah.
It's the impact.
Exactly.
It's the human impact.
Connecting the dots
Yeah.
between the tech and our everyday lives.
Yeah. Our hopes, our fears, our aspirations.
Values.
Yeah. And that makes it so unique because it's not just teaching us about the latest gadget,
Right.
right? It's exploring how the tech intersects with our values,
Exactly.
with our relationships, with our sense of self.
Yeah, and it brings us back to that Decentralizing AI series.
Yeah.
Which I think is really at the heart
It feels very
of
central.
this exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really fascinating topic, but it's also
It is.
a little bit daunting.
Oh, absolutely.
What kind of questions are we going to hear explored in that series?
Well, one of the key questions is how do we ensure that AI benefits everyone, not just the people who control the technology? How do we build systems that are transparent, accountable, and aligned with our values?
That is a huge question.
It is.
I mean, that goes beyond the tech.
It does.
It gets into power and ethics
Absolutely.
and the kind of future we want.
Exactly. And he's not shying away from that at all.
Okay.
He's going to be exploring those philosophical implications, the potential risks, the benefits, the real world challenges of putting these ideas into practice.
It sounds ambitious.
It is a very ambitious series.
Yeah.
But I think
Like, it's really getting to the heart of some big questions
it is.
for humanity.
Yeah, it's not just about understanding the tech. It's
Right.
grappling with
Yeah.
some of these really big questions.
I'm excited about the potential of this series.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just understanding AI.
Right.
It's like shaping the future of it.
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about the platform as a whole.
Yeah.
It's not just passive consumption of information.
Right.
It's engaging in a dialogue that could actually change the world.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see how this all unfolds.
Me too.
But I want to bring it back to Roberto himself.
Yeah.
You mentioned he has a real passion
He does.
for vintage tech.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
Well, beyond his technical expertise,
Okay.
he really has an appreciation for the history of technology.
Okay.
He collects vintage computers, gaming consoles, you name it.
Wow.
He sees these objects
Right.
as these artifacts of our evolution,
Yeah.
of our technological evolution.
It's like he's a tech archaeologist digging into the past
He is.
to learn about the future.
Absolutely. And that perspective is what makes his work so insightful.
Yeah.
He's not just focused on the next big thing.
Right.
He's thinking about that long arc of technological progress
Yeah.
and how it intertwines with our own human story.
And that must shine through
Oh, yeah.
in this Rob's Memory Lane series,
Definitely.
where he's sharing these personal stories. What kind of stories can we expect?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, but from what I've heard, it's a mix of personal anecdotes, reflections on his career path,
Right.
and even some humorous mishaps along the way.
I was going to say, I'm picturing some only in tech kind of stories.
Yeah.
The server crashing right before the big presentation.
Yeah.
Or like dial-up internet and floppy disks.
You're probably not far off.
Yeah.
But what I think is really interesting is that he's not just reminiscing
Right.
for the sake of it.
Yeah.
He's using these stories to connect the dots
Okay.
between his own journey and the broader evolution of technology.
So it humanizes the whole tech world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it shows that behind the code
Right.
are real people.
Yeah. With passions and dreams.
Yeah, and some hilarious blunders.
Right, exactly. And that's what makes it so relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is not just for the super techie people.
Right.
It's a space where anyone can connect.
Anyone can connect with the human side of tech.
With the human side of technology.
Yeah.
I like that. So, speaking of connecting with people.
Yeah.
This Cool Smart People series.
Right.
What kind of guests is he going to have?
Well, he's got a really wide range of people he's inviting.
Yeah.
You know, thought leaders from all different areas.
Mm.
Technology, of course.
Right.
But also science, art, philosophy.
It's not just a tech echo chamber.
No, not
We're
right.
getting these diverse perspectives.
A real diversity of viewpoints and insights.
And is that intentional?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He wants to explore those intersections
Okay.
between tech and other domains.
Right, because it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
No, it doesn't. It's
Right.
constantly interacting with our culture, our values,
Yeah.
our understanding of the world.
So by bringing in these guests from different backgrounds, it creates a space for this interdisciplinary conversation.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
That could lead to some really new ideas.
Yeah, those sparks that come from bringing together different disciplines.
It's starting to feel like this is more than just a podcast.
Yeah.
It's like
it is
a virtual salon
I love that.
in the 21st century.
A virtual salon.
Yeah, bringing all these amazing minds together to talk about these big questions.
To explore the big questions of our time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes Interchain Me so exciting. It's not just about information.
Yeah.
It's about fostering this sense of community and shared exploration.
It's about building a space where we can all come together and learn and connect.
And learn and connect.
And imagine the future we want to create.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the best part is we don't have to wait long to actually experience all this Interchain. Pull.me is launching January 2025.
January 2025. Write that down, everybody.
Yeah.
Circle it on your calendar.
Get those calendars out.
But I have a feeling he's not just like sitting around twiddling his thumbs.
Waiting for the launch date.
I don't think so.
What's he doing to get people excited?
Well, he's been dropping little hints and sneak peeks on social media.
Okay.
He's got a link tree with all of his projects.
Yeah.
And you can even check out his previous podcast.
Oh, cool.
To get a feel for his style and his approach.
So he's building a community.
He is, yeah.
Around these ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just launching a platform.
Right.
It's like creating a movement.
Yeah, a movement.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to make this so unique.
I think so too.
It's not just this like top-down information source.
Right.
It's truly a collaborative exploration of the future and how it's going to impact our lives.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about this idea. It's like empowering the listeners to be a part of the conversation.
To shape the future.
To shape the future they want.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And if you're listening right now, you're already part of that conversation.
So for those listening
who
are excited, what can they do to get ready for the launch?
I would say start by checking out his existing work.
Okay.
That link tree, his LinkedIn, his previous podcast.
Okay.
Just get a feel for him.
Right.
His style, his vision.
And start thinking about questions.
Yeah. What would you ask him?
Yeah.
If you had the chance.
What are your burning questions about the future of tech?
Yeah. What impact do you think it's going to have on your life?
On your work.
On your work.
Yeah, your world.
What excites you?
What scares you a little bit?
What worries you?
Yeah.
What possibilities do you see?
And reach out.
Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, he wants to hear from people who are interested in this stuff.
This is your chance to be a part of something really groundbreaking.
To add your voice to the mix.
Yeah.
It's a chance to shape the role of technology in our lives.
So as we wait for the launch in January 2025, let's keep those questions coming.
Keep the conversation going.
And get ready for a pretty incredible journey into the future of tech and how it impacts all of us.
Roberto Capodieci on Interchain Me.